Hello, very good to see you. Oh, I'm a bit late. I pressed the wrong button. I think I had a senior moment. I think that's what it's called, isn't it? Never mind. I found my way here. So let's see who shows up. If you're here, if you're watching this live, come and drop me some comments in the chat so I know you're there. Because it's not like a Zoom call. I can't see you unless you leave me a comment. Which I kind of miss, actually. That's what I like about Zoom calls. I can see everybody. Hello, Tanya. Happy to see you, darling. How are you? Are you okay? And hello, Karen A. I'm glad you're here too. The girls are in the room. Good stuff. I'm glad. That's good, Tanya. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, I'm glad you made it. All right, so I've got some questions. I had lots of questions actually today. Yeah, amazing. A whole raft of questions. So I'll make a start on the questions, and then, you know, girls, if you want to say anything or ask me anything or whatever, or you want me to talk about anything, just jump in and leave me a message. Let me see. I've got a question from Sherry, who wants to know, will Andy get back in touch? So let's have a look. Let me just see if I can do this. Hold on. 1 second. I'm typing here, girls. Just a minute. Hello, Daniela. Okay. Oh, there we go. So you see, I can put, that's good, because then I can put questions from people who aren't on the call. I can put them on the screen. So that's really nice. Good. So will Andy get back in touch? Okay. Okay, so what I actually asked, because obviously we have the classic yes no question in play. So what I actually asked was, what should Sherry prepare for regarding Andy getting back in touch? And we have the King of Wands, which suggests that he well might, because the King of Wands is a very confident, upfront character who likes attention. So he's the rock star, you see. So there is every possibility that yes, he will. And there's a couple of things about the King of Wands. Now, look, we cannot generalize with any card, but in the aspect of love, the King of Wands can be a bit of a tricky character, because he's very much wants to be kind of, you know, king of the scene, as it were. He wants to be the one center stage, and he can be a bit of a player because he just likes the attention. You see, he's often very charismatic. He's often very upfront and quite sexual, quite sexy in his, you know, in his manner, in his way of being. So I think probably Sherry, and it doesn't say whether that's a good or a bad thing. Only you can tell. But your answer was, will he get back in touch? And I think probably the answer is yes. Okay, there we are. King of Wands. Ooh. All right. Who else have we got? We've got George. Let's type this in. And George's question is, oops, there we are. George wants to know, should he reach out to Carrie? Okay. So let's ask guidance for George. What is the guidance around reaching out to Carrie for George? What should George do about reaching out to Carrie? Well, he's got the Seven of Pentacles here, which is one of those interesting cards, isn't it? So the guidance for him is to focus on, you know, his life and what he actually wants, because it might well be that that's actually the most important thing. So George, you need to really think about your life, your lifestyle, what you enjoy about your life, and you need to think about whether or not that is what Carrie wants. This is what I think is going on here. Because it may well be that there is a bit of a disconnect between the two. The Nine of Pentacles is your personal vision of what you enjoy, of your life, what makes you feel like you're the, you know, you're the center of your world. This is a solo vision here in the nine. Nines are very much a personal experience. And so I think you need to think about that before you make the decision as to whether to reach out to Carrie. This is not, I think, about Carrie's response. I think this is a question for you to consider whether or not that's actually the right thing to do. If I was to take a punt on that, I would say probably best not, honestly, because if your guidance is to really pay attention to your personal vision and to really think about the implications of that in reaching out to Carrie, I would probably say it's advising against, but it's leaving it to you to make that decision for yourself, George. My feeling is you need to give that a bit more thought as to your why and whether or not you think that's going to be in the best interest of both of you. Right. Oh, that was a very interesting one, actually. Good. Okay. So what else have we got? Hi, Daniela. Did you want to ask me a question, Daniela? If you do, just pop it in the chat. Very happy to answer it for you. Okay. I've got Emma here. Let me write this in the chat. Emma. Okay, this is one of these big overarching questions that it it is a big deal to answer this with one card, okay, Emma, because will I ever find love? You know, if I come up with something that's not entirely positive, then that's not going to leave you in a very good place, is it? So I'm not going to ask that question, Emma. What I'm going to ask is guidance around finding love, because your question presupposes there is a doubt that it's possible. And of course it's possible. It's absolutely possible. But your question implies a lot of fear, doesn't it, sweetie? So let's ask, what do you need to know about finding love? Hello, Tracy. Lovely to see you. What does Emma need to know about finding love? We're not going to fortune tell this, Emma, because that's not helpful to you. Okay. Okay, so what we've got is death. Now, I want you to look at that in the spirit that it's meant, because what this means is we need some purification going on, and you need to let go of what's happened before. This is really important. So this is not a no. This is a what you have to do to find love. You have to let go of what's gone. You have to let go of what hasn't worked. You have to let go of anything that doesn't serve you, because what's gone before is dead and gone, sweetie. It's dead and gone. We have death for a reason. Things die for a reason. Things die to allow new growth, to allow something new to come up. And until you let go of whatever it is has not worked out in the past, okay, until you grieve it properly and allow it to pass, then it looks to me like you're potentially a bit stuck. But you know what? You've got lots of time and it's okay. But please don't approach this with fear like it's not possible, because it absolutely is possible. It's just that there's a process to go through. Okay, you need to let go, darling, and let the past go and start again with a clean slate. Death is all about purification. That's what it's for. Great stuff. All right, so what have we got here? We've got Sharon. Can you tell me if my partner still wants me? Oh, yes, Sharon, I will have a look and let's see what we can come up with. And again, let's be clear, this is a big question and this is one card. So we have to be mindful of that. Okay, let's have a look. I like your picture, Sharon. You look like you're in a Mary Poppins movie. You look very, very fresh and glamorous. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. So the Hierophant is an interesting card. I mean, there is no doubt the Hierophant is a complex card, and in answer to this, it's a complex answer. So the Hierophant comes up when we're talking about how somebody is interacting within a situation that is formalized. Okay, so they are playing by the rules, but it also wants to talk about how they religiously think. It isn't saying that he is, it's a tricky one because it isn't giving you any real desire. It's just telling you that he's doing what he thinks is the way it's done. If you're married, it would be within the terms of the marriage. So what he's wanting is he's wanting the culture, he's wanting the overarching situation. It's not giving me desire though. Hello, Kerry, and I'm not keen on that. I want to know how let's ask how he feels. I'm going to take another one, Sharon, because it's not telling me how he actually feels. This is the trouble with a big, complex question like this with one card. I'm going to ask again. Okay, good. Good. So we've got the Chariot here. And the Chariot is actually a very determined card. So I think that's actually quite a positive card because this is a card that's looking to a destination. It's looking forward. And it's a card that is very focused on making something happen. So I would say probably, yes, there's no real separation communicated here. And that together with the Hierophant suggests that we have something that is ongoing and is rooted in an agreement. So I don't think there's anything there that tells you that your partner doesn't want you. Okay, but there is obviously something that he does want, and that he's really focused on. And so I wonder if he might be distracted, or I wonder if he might be just really focused on something else down the path. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because it was telling you that the first card that we took, which was the Hierophant, is not really a very emotional card at all. It's just talking about doing it the way it's done and playing by the rules. And when we've got the Hierophant with that, we're talking about somebody who's very focused on the big picture, very focused on something down there that they want to achieve. So I would say that quite possibly his attention is not on it. It might be that he's taking you for granted in another in service of another vision. Yeah. So I mean, Sharon, look, it's a big picture, it's a big thing, and I have a feeling that there's more in there. And we probably do or would need to go a bit deeper into the situation, and I'm not sure that a public reading is the place to really delve into that. It doesn't say he doesn't want you. It isn't actually a very emotional card at all. It's not, neither of them are really emotional. It's almost like he's just not focused on it. He's focused on something else entirely. And it doesn't say that he doesn't love you. There's no real feeling of that. There's no real feeling of it one way or the other. It's just raw tunnel vision is what it is. So whatever the situation is, it's something else has his attention, and I don't think it's an emotional something. I think it's something else. So I think stay the course, and keep the faith, because I don't think I'm not seeing a breakdown here. That's not what I'm seeing. So he's worrying about an operation he's got to go in on Friday. Okay, well, that makes sense. So he's very focused on this other thing. I think probably he's just very, very distracted, Sharon, is what I think. I think he's very distracted. And I don't honestly think that it's, with respect, I don't think it's about you. I think that his head just looks to me like he's just kind of focusing. But you know what, we could explore that in a reading at some other time. But I think obviously it's a big deal. And, you know, the one thing that I would say is that I don't see any evidence in either of those cards that would say that he has plans other than in the relationship. It doesn't look like that to me. Okay, what else have we got? We have Daniela. Is our business going to get better this year, and shall we invest into buying properties? I can't answer both of them, Daniela. It's one card. Let's take guidance on hello, Mariana. I'll get to you in just a second. Okay, so right. Let's have a look at the question about the business. Okay. So, is Daniela's business, the business she's referring to, is it going... What should she prepare for? No, I want to ask a question that's useful. I don't want to do just a yes or no, because that's like, we need to... what do you need to do, Daniela, to ensure that the business gets better this year? How about that? That's better, isn't it? What do you need to do to ensure the business gets better this year? Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the Two of Swords. So on some level, we have a bit of a stalemate situation here, and I'm going to presume there are decisions you're not making. Obviously, we've got, shall we invest into buying properties? I think this is a question of being bold. One of the things about the Two of Swords, it's a thinking problem. Okay, and the trouble is with the Two of Swords is that there's no real emotion, there's no real desire. It's just like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, maybe this would go wrong, maybe this would go wrong. It's just leaving us in stalemate. If you look at the card, we've got a chessboard here and a skeleton. You're not making the next move. So there needs to be some dynamic energy here, and you need to make choices and commit to them and make the decision the business is getting. It's like this is just sitting in no man's land. Okay, so the business can get better when you really commit and push forward and commit to a course of action and commit to making it work, because at the moment this is just too on the fence to really bring anything to fruition. So I hope that helps. Okay, what else do we have? Oops, let's come back here. Oh, Mariana, that's a bit spicy, isn't it? Let's have a look. Okay, will Christian's secret be revealed this month? That sounds like a Netflix series that I've been watching, and I need to know the next episode. Okay, what should Mariana prepare for regarding Christian's secrets this month. Well, I'm not sure that they will be, because the Page of Swords is very secretive, you see. The Page of Swords is very secretive, and if you wanted to find out, you're going to have to hack in. And he is going to keep hidden what he wants to keep hidden. And he isn't going to be very keen on sharing that information. So I would probably say no based on that, because you know, this is the battle scout. He's looking for problem. He's looking for where the attacks might come from, and he's keeping everything under wraps. So I would say probably no, probably because he's going to be quite guarded about that. It's not about lying. This is not the Seven of Swords. It's just secretive. It's just protective of information. So maybe not, Marijuana, maybe not. Okay, what else have we got here? We've got some more down here. Okay, we've got Kerry. Hello, Kerry. And Suman, you can, darling. Yes, I will add you to the list, of course. Right, Kerry, can you see a positive financial outcome for me in my near future related to my current job? Okay, let's have a look. Okay. All right, what does Kerry need to know about a potential positive financial outcome for her in the near future regarding her current job? Well, I think it's quite positive, yes. Do you? It's the nice Nine of Pentacles. If ever there was a card of gain, if ever there was a card of feeling opulent, I think that would be it. So I would say that that's looking quite positive then. And I don't think that's very complicated at all. I just think that's pretty much as close to a yes as you can get. So good. Financial independence, all that good stuff makes your life more, you know, enjoyable, makes your experience feel more opulent. Very nice. Like that. Very good. Well done, Kerry. I think you'd probably be happy about that. Okay. Right, I better do one from my list. So I've got Lynette here. Lynette, I'm going to pop this in the chat as well. So this is for Lynette. And this is about Earl Francis. Oops, gosh, typos. Earl Francis, and is he attracted to Lynette as well? Okay. There we are. Hold on a second. Oh gosh, it's gone right down the list. There we go. Lynette. I should have put a dash there. It's not Lynette Earl Francis, it's Lynette. Earl Francis is the chap, and is he attracted to Lynette as well? So how does Earl Francis feel about Lynette romantically? That's right, Kerry. Happy for that. How does Earl Francis feel about Lynette romantically? Well, we have the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is an interesting card in answer to this question because it's a very pragmatic card. So what it's telling you is the Earl is very much not engaging with his emotions around this. He's basically saying that he sees that there's a problem in the mix, and that problem means that he's I would imagine he's gonna keep things under wraps or not take action. It doesn't say that he's not attracted to you, but it does tell you that he probably won't act on it, that he thinks there's something in the way, because when we've got the Ace of Swords, we have awareness of a problem. We have awareness that there is something that would need to be solved, and he is not saying that he's going to push forward and solve it. He's just saying, yeah, but there's that, right? And so it's in the way, and so there's something in the way that is meaning that he's not going to step forward. Okay, now again, the card doesn't tell you what it is. It just tells you that he's aware that there is a problem, and he's applying his mind, not his emotions, to the situation, because it's swords. So he's very much in his head about this and going, yeah, but there's that, you see. So I think what you're getting here is you're getting that it doesn't matter whether he's attracted to you or not, Lynette. I just think he's probably going to keep that under wraps or just not take action on it. So not great, but it is what it is, I think. I don't know whether you're not here, I know, but I don't know whether you're also aware that there is something in between you that would mean it would be very difficult for him to step forward with that. Okay. All right. What else have we got up here? Make sure I haven't missed anybody out up here. Okay. Got this one. Ansuman, I think that might be how you pronounce it. I hope it is. Forgive me if I've pronounced it wrongly. Will I meet my love partner this year? I am manifesting somebody. Ooh. Let's have a look. Okay, all right. So, Ansuman is manifesting a new relationship. What is going to be the outcome of that this year? Good. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups tells you that you have a bit more learning to do about what it is that's going to make you happy. Now that's quite important, because it doesn't tell you that there won't be anybody. It doesn't say that at all. But it does say that maybe you need to look at what you're manifesting and what picture you're putting out there and how clear that actually is. So I don't know whether when you're saying your love partner, I think you need to be looking at maybe, exactly what that picture is, because the page needs to stay curious, and it can be a little bit innocent. It can be a little bit overly innocent, and you need to be looking at what happens when you connect. Do you perhaps connect too quickly? Because it's quite an innocent sort of, it's a lovely energy, but it's a little bit a little bit young in its feeling. So it's telling you that you need more learning, you need a little bit more experience. So I don't think now is the time for you to maybe meet your long-term partner. I don't think now is the time for that. It doesn't mean that you can't manifest your long-term partner. Of course you can, but what it's saying is that you need to do a little bit of learning first about what's inside you regarding your happiness, what will make you happy, and and how you connect to people. Perhaps you connect a little bit quickly. I don't know. It's only one card, but that's what it's saying. So it's not a bad card at all. It's just telling you, I think there's more work to be done on you before you can get the one that you're actually looking for. But it is definitely in process, and that's really good. I like that. That's actually okay, I think. I hope that answers your question, sweetie. That's good. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, right, let me, I don't want to ignore my list because it's quite important. What else have we got here? We've got a question for Sarah. Sarah wants to know, let me pop this in here. This is for Sarah. Okay. It's a very practical question. Here we go. It's for Sarah. Sarah wants to know if she will sell her boat soon. There we are. So let's just ask. What should Sarah prepare for regarding a speedy sale of her boat? Okay, well, I don't know if I can promise you a speedy sale, Sarah. We've got the Three of Cups, the Three of Swords. I mean, so possibly not a speedy sale. So it does look like we've got a bit of an ouch in there. And that's obviously a bit of a downer, isn't it? So I don't want to leave you with that. I don't think that's great. So let's ask, let me reword the question then, because I would say that's probably a no. But I'm going to ask a question here. I don't want to leave you with that because that's not helpful. So let me ask, what do you need to do to sell your boat as quickly as possible? Okay, let's ask that. What do you need to do to sell your boat as quickly as possible? Well, there we are. So don't be afraid. You've got to get really confident and proactive. So this is a card of fear and thinking about the worst case scenario. And this is a real ouch. So this is ow, ow, ow. This is really hurts and I'm really upset about it. So try not to be scared. The trouble is with the Nine of Swords, it looks like a very scary card, but actually what it's telling you is that your fears of your worst case scenario are not real, right? So you're occupying your mind with all of the worst things you can think of, and that is just not going to happen. It's not going to be as bad as that. It really isn't. So the thing is, put all of those aside and just be really proactive and really confident, and don't let fear lead the way here. That's what you have to do to sell the boat as quickly as possible, right? So any fear that's in place about what might happen if you don't, that's not going to help. You're going to have to just take lots and lots of positive action, and don't be scared, because the worst case is not going to happen. Okay, I hope that helps a bit. That was a tricky one, wasn't it? Okay, what else do we have? Want to make sure I haven't missed anyone back here. What have we got here? We've got Nim. I've been seeing this man very recently. How do you think our relationship will go? Okay, we'll just do a straightforward guidance card for you, Nim. Let's have a look. Hello, Yashi. Thank you very much for the compliment. Okay. Okay. Guidance for Nim about the man that she is seeing. Let's ask like this. Let's ask, what is the best potential that this relationship could offer? What is the best potential this relationship can offer? Okay, 4 of Wands. Well, that's not bad. That's okay, isn't it? It is a stabilized relationship. I wouldn't say that it's forever, because it's the 4, and in 4s in tarot are not forever. So the four of Wands is it's an okay place. It's okay, yeah. It's nice. It's good. There's nothing desperate or scary or heartbreaking in here, but it is a relationship that stabilizes on a plateau. So I guess, you know, there's nothing here that warns you off. I would question whether it's forever. It looks like has a relatively decent shelf life attached to it, but I'm not sure whether it's forever and ever, because it's the 4 is not one of the 10s, right? It's not the big deal, but it's nice. It'll go to a place. It'll go to a place like that, and it'll sit on that plateau, and it'll stay there. So, you know, I know there are some people that look at the 4 of Wands and call it the marriage card. I don't, if I'm honest. I don't think it's the marriage card. I think it's very difficult to see the 4 in that way as a maximum potential, because if we're looking at a maximum potential, we've only got the 4 of Wands, and then it tells you that it's kind of like a midway. So it stabilizes for sure, but it doesn't grow beyond that certain point. So it's good. It's fine. I would explore further, right? I think I would explore further, and I think there's some good stuff there. I think it's worth further investment for sure. Okay. Who else do we have? Have I missed anybody? Let me see. I have yes, Yashi, I'm going to get to you in just a second, but I have Yuthit Way. Now, again, if I pronounce this wrong, please forgive me. I'm terrible at pronunciation. Do you know, I went through France, Spain, and Portugal, and I'm not sure I actually pronounced one name correctly. My brain just does weird things with pronunciation. Is Thomas your future husband? Let's have a look. Okay. Is Thomas Yuthik Way's future husband? So we're going to ask this. What do you need to know about him becoming your future husband? Let's ask that. What does Yuthik Way need to know about Thomas becoming her future husband? Okay. Well, we've got the Lovers, which looks good, doesn't it? I'm such a pessimistic reader. It looks good. And I think on most tarot channels, they would go, yes. And I would say that there is definitely the possibility of it. But there is also another question here, because this is not the romantic card that a lot of people see it as. The Lovers is very much about a choice. And the marriage is the Lovers is a choice of commitment, and it is and it is an invitation to look at the relationship that's on offer and to really explore that. So is Thomas my future husband? I think you will have the choice to walk down that road with Thomas. But there is a thing here that says, have you explored all the options? Have you really explored the relationship properly as well? Because this is telling you that there are choices here, and it isn't a slam dunk yes. I think it's saying there is the potential of it, but you do need to make sure you explore other options as well, because it's saying to you, you need to make a choice. You need to make the right choice, and you need to make the right choice for the right reasons, and be quite tough about that. Okay, so it's not a no. It isn't a no. It's just asking you to, I think, explore further. Okay, that's what I think it's asking you to do. Explore further and look at what your choices are. Okay, now we have Yashi. Hello, Yashi. Is E thinking about me? Okay, let's have a look. Okay. What forms the basis of E's thoughts about Yashi? Because again, we don't really want to say yes or no. We want to know what he's thinking, don't we? So what forms the basis of E's thoughts about Yashi? Okay. He's looking at endings, Yashi. And so if he is thinking about you, he's thinking about change and about what needs to end and about probably moving on or what changes need to be made. So it's not necessarily it's not a romantic card. It's a fairly pragmatic card, isn't it? Because death tells you that there needs to be some clearance here. There needs to be some purification of the energy, and this is about change. So that's what he's thinking about. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what is occupying his thoughts when he thinks about you. He's thinking about endings and change. That's what he's thinking about. Okay. Okay. All right. So what we have, who else do we have here? Okay. You think, well, I can't do more than one question, darling. I've got so many to get through. I have to give everybody a chance, so I can't. I'm sorry. Let's have a look. Michelle, will Matt and I eventually reconcile? Michelle. Okay. I shall ask. Let's have a look. Michelle. Okay. All right. What does Michelle need to know about the potential of her and Matt reconciling? I think that works, doesn't it? Well, King of Cups. The King of Cups is the counselor. So I don't know if that's a yes. I think that's asking you to tune in and really understand how you're feeling and take kind of emotional responsibility for the situation. It's a tricky one. I'm not sure it's a yes. I think it's asking you to really step back and say, I need to understand the situation. I need to understand myself in the situation. Then I need to do the right thing for me in this. Because the King of Cups is, he's the counselor, he's the psychotherapist. So I would say that's probably a no, Michelle, if I'm honest. But I would say that it's probably a no for the right reasons. So, and I think it's just asking you to understand and to come to terms with it and to see the situation and to really tune into yourself so that you understand and you can kind of apply wisdom to the situation. Okay. I hope that helps, Michelle. I hope it does. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, good. I have a question here from, he doesn't want me to put his name, so I'm just going to term him S. And I'm not going to write it up in the chat just because it's complicated, and he wanted a much more complicated, he wanted a more complicated, hold on, let me just take this off a second. So S wanted a much more involved question, but I'm going to have to simplify it out. But he says he's had a very difficult financial situation, and he wants to know how it will pan out over the next couple of months, and it involves jobs and house moves and things, and he wants to know if there is a solution to his situation over the next couple of months. So let's see if we can take a card that will help. His overarching question was actually quite detailed and complicated, but we need to simplify it down for the purposes of our call today. Okay, let's have a look. Oops. Okay, let me formulate the question in my mind properly. That's interesting. So I've got the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is where you have to get really grounded with this, S, and not get confused, not go off into, well, this might happen, or this might happen, or this might happen, or maybe this will happen, good things, maybe this will happen, bad things. It's really there's such a lot of confusion in there. And I think what it's asking you to do is bring everything down to earth. See what's realistic, see what's real, see what isn't real, and act on that and be very practical. Now, look, from what you've described, your situation is not easy, and I get that. But all of this mental confusion is for sure making it more complicated than it is even in real life. Again, this might be a candidate for a more in-depth reading at some other time, but I would say the first thing you need to do is to separate out the reality from what is just noise in your head, and really get down and bring it down to earth, and then decide on your course of action from there. So yeah, it's a tricky one, a very tricky one. Oh, thank you, Kayla. That's very nice. Excellent. Let me see, who else do I have? Do I have anyone up here that I've missed? Tanya, you said you had a question for me. Could you pop it in the chat, darling? I think I must have missed it up in the chain. Pop it back in the chat at this end, and I can pick it up, sweetie. Let me see what else we've got here. Right, we've got Beverly. Okay, Beverly. All right. Let's do this. Beverly. Whoops. UI. Okay. Can I? Okay, this is for Beverly. Beverly wants to know how she can find happiness. So let's take a guidance card for Beverly. Okay. Right. Interesting. So we've got the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is the tough love queen. And so this is a very unfluffy bunny card, Beverly, and this is telling you that right now, I think probably the finding happiness thing is, and this is going to sound tough because she's the tough love queen, right? Is probably not the thing you should be focusing on. You can find happiness by getting really strategic about your life, about really looking at the nitty-gritty of what's going on in your life, and stop looking at what's lost or why you're not. Well, look at why you're not happy, but look at it in a very analytical way, and look at what you need to change, perhaps. Because this is very head over heart. So it's telling you in a way to take your emotions and sort of and analyze them in a way that's quite pragmatic. So one presumes that you're not happy, and that's okay, and that's a given. Let's put this up here. That's a given. You're not happy. I get that, but it's saying to you that the route to happiness is by making boundaries, by making decisions, by taking control of your life in a way that's actually quite tough. Because the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Swords is quite tough. Look, she's quite unsympathetic, this poor chap down there. She's taking control, isn't she? So you can find happiness by taking control within, because she's a queen. So it's controlling your emotions and really getting strategic about your life and taking some tough decisions about your life. That's how you find happiness. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, it isn't. Ooh, that was a bit that was quite pointed, that, wasn't it, Beverly? But nevertheless, here we are. This is the reading. What can we do? We have Tanya. I'd like to know if a new partnership, professionally or romantic, is in the cards. Will I be able to meet new people that increase my experience here at home? So you want to, let's focus on the first bit, shall we, Tanya? Because we don't want to, we've only got one card, sweetie, so we need to make sure that we stay laser focused. Okay, so Tanya wants to know if there is the possibility for a new partnership, either professionally or romantic. I think she wants to bring more people into her experience. Okay, let's ask. Well, you've got the 7 of Wands, Tanya. The 7 of Wands. And if we were on one of our tarot clinics, I would say, and what does that say to you, Tanya? What does that say? It says you've got to take it on, right? It's what it is. You've got to take it on. So you've got to be really proactive. And I think it feels like you feel like it's a tough call, because it's a bit like firefighting, isn't it? You're like, and there's a sense of like, oh, I'm having to battle against overwhelming odds here. And you know, the classic statement with the 7 of Wands is being on the back foot, but nevertheless, it's telling you to be proactive, I think. And even if the odds feel stacked against you, they're not, and you can do this. There's nothing here that you can't take on. So go for it. Take it on. Just fight your way forward. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen on its own, Tanya. I don't think it's going to happen by default. So your question, is it in the cards? I'd say left to its own devices, maybe not real soon, right? But the second part of your question, are you able to meet new people to increase your experience? Well, that would say yes, wouldn't it? That would say yes, but you've got to get out and get in there and make it happen, right? You've got to get out there and make it happen. So I hope that that's useful, interesting. I hope that's okay. Have I missed anybody else's question in the chat? I don't think so. I don't think I have. I don't think I've missed anybody. Okay, good. So I will go back to my sheet and I will ask. Okay, I have another Sarah here. What will happen? Oh, what will happen between Ali and I with regards to our relationship? Okay, so Sarah, what will happen with Ali? That'll do. What will happen with Ali? There we go. All right, Sarah, let's have an ask. What will happen with Ali with regards to their relationship? So what should Sarah prepare for with regards to Ali and their relationship? So where is that heading? Okay. Oh, okay. So we have the 4 of Cups. So I have a feeling, Sarah, that it may well run out of steam a little bit, because the 4 of Cups is where one person kind of goes a bit emotionally flat and isn't really responsive to what the other person is offering. If you look at the card, we can see there's something on offer here. that the other person is not responding to. It doesn't say which one of you, but I would imagine probably one of you and then both of you, because when someone goes emotionally flat, the other person also becomes pretty unimpressed with that. So I think, sweetie, the relationship will probably do us a lot. Sorry, but I think it will. I think this is a learning one. I think it's a learning relationship. I don't think it's your big deal. So there is a feeling of not being very impressed with whatever in there. Okay, good stuff. What else have I got? I had one. Oh, I had Mimi. Mimi. Okay. So Mimi. Okay, so Mimi has a holiday romance with Gustav. That's right. Holiday romance. Will he get back in touch? Oh, holiday romance. All right, Mimi, let's have a look. So Mimi wants to know, will Gustav get back in touch? So what should she prepare for? No, I tell you what, we're going to ask from Gustav's point of view. So let's say we're going to tune into Gustav and we're going to ask, what is Gustav going to do about Mimi? What's Gustav going to do about Mimi? I feel like this is one of those game shows where we have the where we find the answer. Everybody's on tenterhooks. What will Gustav do about Mimi? King of Wands. Another King of Wands. We've already had a King of Wands today, haven't we? So yes, he might then. He might do. Yeah, it'll be an exciting ride, Mimi. Just watch your heart with the King of Wands. Just saying. He's a bit of a sexy beast. He's the King of Wands and he likes to be the centre of attention. So he might well do. I wouldn't think that it is a long-term thing. But, you know, it's a thing. I think he may well get back in touch. Yes. Ooh, I say, it's a bit steamy, isn't it? Just be careful of Gustav a little bit, you know. Might have a girl in every city. Just saying. Just the King of Wands in a love reading can be a little bit of a devil. He can. As I say, a friend of mine, Ray, who I've been reading tarot, my long-term tarot mate, calls the King of Wands the medallion man. You can tell the vintage that he and I are both from, but the medallion man in the 70s had the shirt open with the medallion and the hairy chest and like, hey babe, that's King of Wands. Just saying. Does anybody remember the Fonz? I'm so old. I'm so old. All you young things are going, what the hell? What's the Fonz? The Fonz was the King of Wands. Okay. All right, Cassia. Let's have a look. I'm in the middle of a redundancy process. What tarot told me to do to get the biggest payout? Okay. Right. All right, let me see. What should Cassia do to get the biggest payout? Take them for all you can get, Cassia. Let's have a look. That's interesting. Hold on. Well, we've got the Four of Wands again, which is interesting, isn't it? Because it's a stabilization. So it's almost like, I think what you've got to do is you've just got to go in with a number and just sort of just go, right, this would work. It's quite a positive energy, actually. It's quite an honest energy. So it's basically saying, okay, well, this is what will make it work. This is the place where it will work. And it's I think that's what it's telling you to do, to sort of come up with a figure and just go, right, if we do this, then we can stabilize everything, we can make it okay, because it's like a plateau, it's like we've reached a good point. So it's not, this card in this sort of energy always reminds me a bit, it's like the base camp of Everest, isn't it? That's what this is like. So it's we have a tent here, don't we? So it's a place to, it's a decent, nice place to be, where you can feel happy and you can celebrate. It perhaps isn't the ultimate destination, really, but it's a good solid ground. So it's not an enormous compromise, for sure. It's not an enormous compromise. It's probably above what would be a big compromise, but it's probably not at the top of the mountain either. So I would go in middle high and go, this will make it work for me. This is the way it is. Let's just do this. And going confident, because again, we're one. So going confident, right? So I hope that helps. I hope it does. Gosh, that was an unexpected card, but still, I quite like it. I quite like it as an energy, though. I think that sounds very positive. Okay, good. And we have Cassia Tati. Yes, I do just have time. Have a steady job as a nursery head. Itchy feet. Am I being greedy to have more? Oh, no, come on! Don't say you're being greedy. It's a good thing to be to have aspirations. Why is that greedy? That's don't do that. Hello, Amanda. Lovely to see you here. Welcome. Okay, right. So, Kayla, don't say you're greedy. That's not a thing. You're not being greedy. Let's take some guidance for you. You have career aspirations. You just have them. What do you need to do about that now? Okay. So let's just ask, what do you need to do about that now? You don't need to apologize for having aspirations. It's all good. Right. What should be your next step with regards to your career aspirations? Okay. What should be, oh gosh, that's me being clumsy. What should be your next step regarding your career aspirations? The Chariot. Well, that's really good. I like that. It's telling you, so you want more. What do you want? What is the more you want? Okay. It's very goal orientated. So what it's saying is you've got to set a trajectory, Kayla. You've got to know where you're heading. So just to want more is kind of a bit too vague here. You've got to have a proper vision of where you're heading. And again, with the Chariot card, it's all about not getting distracted. It's all about not being pulled off course. So take the am I being greedy? Just take that and dump it in the bin, sweetie, right? This tells you you can actually get where you want to go, but you've got to make a game plan, and you've got to know where you want to go, because if you don't know where you want to go, you won't be able to figure out how to get there. So I think your first job is to decide where that is. That's really important. So what is where you want to go? And then plot your route and then make it happen, right? It's not about just looking around for another job. It's not about just going, oh, well, I want something a little bit better, maybe, sort of. Don't do that. That's not going to work. So you're going to have to be very determined about this, very determined. So what is your next step as nursery head? What do you want your next step to be? And then focus on that and do everything that you can do to make that happen, because that's really positive. This is will in motion, externally expressed. That's a very technical way of describing the Chariot card. Will in motion. And it's applying your will to the journey ahead, and really driving. You are the driver. Look, don't look back. You're driving to here, right? All good. That's very good. That's very good. Go for it, sweetie. I'm going to pick this card up because I dropped it. And you know what? Oops, hold on. I scattered them. So I was on TikTok the other day, and I was on TikTok, and one of the readers, one of my fellow readers on TikTok said, I want to talk about what happens when you drop cards. And readers who, when they drop cards, go, ha, there's something magical at play. I must use this card. And he said, as far as I'm concerned, as a professional, if you drop a card, it's just because you fumbled the shuffle. It means nothing. Stay with your original thing. Don't fumble your shuffle, because the cards on the floor are not a reading. They're just, you've dropped the bloody cards. That's all. I have to say, I heartily agree. He is a man after my own heart. I very much approve of very pragmatic tarot readers. There's nothing mystical in dropping cards. They haven't leapt out at you energetically propelled. You just drop them. I like it. It's good. I agree with him. He's completely right. So excellent. Okay. Right. I have right. So yes, Lynette, I did see that you were here. I have answered your question already, so you're going to have to read back a little bit. I have let me see. I do have another one. I have a question from Deepak here. Oh, thank you, Kayla. I'm happy about that. So Deepak, whoops. Let me just go. Okay, Deepak wants to know. Oh, my typing. Right. Okay. Right, so this is for Deepak, and he wants to know if his marriage will be happy. And it is a marriage that has been, it is a very practical arrangement. Should we put it like that? Okay, so Deepak's marriage is a very practical arrangement, and he wants to know if it's the right thing to do. If this match is the right match, it's a match that has been found for him, and he wants to know if the marriage would be happy. So that's very interesting. So let's see if we can help Deepak. Okay. So, advice to Deepak about this marriage being happy. Okay, well, look at that. We have the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is very nice. It's quite a light card. It's a card of choices, and I think what it's telling him is that yes, there is an emotional trade here. There is an emotional trade. I'm not sure how deep this is because it is just a two, and a two is really a card of exploration. So I think what this is telling him is that it's something they're just going to have to build it from where it is. There is something to build on, though, right? But it isn't going to happen all by itself because it's a two, because it's very early. It's a very undeveloped energy, which is understandable. They don't know each other very well, really, sort of just finding out. But the idea of the two is that there are more decisions to make, and there is more exploration, and there is more discovery to happen. So they're going to have to work on that and learn about each other emotionally and learn how to be together emotionally. And if they can do that successfully, then yes, it can be. So there's something definitely to build on, but it's going to need emotional work and exploration, and it's going to be a journey. So that's a really nice answer, I think. I like that answer. Yes, Deepak, if you can do the work, okay, if you can both do the work, you have to really dig in to whether or not, you can coalesce emotionally. You look at the emotional trade between you. Good. That's very nice. I like that. Okay, all right. So I think I'm probably going to leave it there, unless anybody has one quick one that you just want to ask before I go. That was a lot. That was great, wasn't it? There was a lot of energy there. That was quite a fun session. I think we had. Great. Oh, love. Hello, love. That's quite sweet. That's lovely. That's lovely, love. Sorry, I'll just show that message. Otherwise, everybody will think I'm crazy. Oh, look, here we go. We have a question. Yes, Amanda, twos are always decision cards and they're always exploration cards. So it's really important that we never see a number two as a destination because it just isn't. It never is. Well, think about it. It's one up from an ace, isn't it? Yeah. And just before I get to you, love, I will have a look at your reading in just a second. I just want to talk about this because it's quite interesting. Again, the same reader that I was talking about the shuffling cards. This is a professional reader, and he's a reader that I respect. This guy. I'm not going to give you his name, so I don't want to question anybody's authority here, but he was talking about the Six of Swords. Now, the Six of Swords is a card called Transition, and he was saying that he thinks it's the saddest card in the tarot deck. Now, I absolutely fundamentally disagree with that. It's not exactly a happy bunny card, but it really isn't the saddest card in the tarot deck. It's a card of transitioning from one place of heartache, well, we transitioning to a better place. It's not a journey we ever want to make, but nevertheless, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the card that we could talk about. But what he did was he said that we were in the six because we'd done the eight, and I don't agree with that. He was coming back to the six from the eight. Now, the way out of the eight of tarot, if you're a tarot reader here, so if you're not, you've just come for a question. Excuse me for geeking out, but the Eight of Swords is where we're in a yes but situation. Okay, it's paralysis by analysis. It's overthinking, is what it is. Overthinking. And so the 8 is where we have to take action. We have to. And yes, we have to go back to the 6 in order to transition beyond our problem. And it's going to be a slow journey, probably, but we do have to do something. But it's not as a result, it's not like a terrible thing that's happened because of the 8. It's the solution to the 8 is what it is. I don't understand. I don't understand why you don't know that. It's just crazy. Anyway, sorry. I do get, you know how some people rant at political programs? I rant at tarot when I hear interpretations which are off or what I think are off. Okay, that's just me. I do rant a bit. Okay, so oh, thank you. I didn't actually mean to highlight that, sweetie, but thank you for that. I didn't mean to do that at all. I meant to find this one. Okay, that's lovely. Yes, Gagan, you can ask a question. It'll have to be the last one because I'm obviously off with the fairies now, aren't I? My brain is fried. Okay, how will I meet my future husband? Okay, let's have a look. So, advice. What should love do in order to meet their future husband? What should love do in order to meet their future husband? Okay. Well, we've got the Queen of Pentacles here, and the Queen of Pentacles is a very practical card. It isn't actually a particularly romantic card, actually. It is a card that tells you you've got to do the work. And also, you have to put your emotions gently to one side. Gently to one side. It's not like the Queen of Swords where you have to just go real hard, tough love. And, it's not that. But it is saying that there is a bit of a, you are going to have to not have your emotions completely in the driving seat here. Also, you have to look at the compromises that you both might make. So this is so the Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Compromise, right? So it's asking you to look at how practical the relationship. So it looks to me like you will meet somebody here. There's just going to be choices for you, love. There isn't just going to be one fixed like movie star moment where that's just it. So this is a bit more practical. This is asking you to look at the practicalities of the situation, look at the compromises that you might have to make in this relationship, and also look at the compromises that he will or won't make as well. Are those compromises equal? So it's not, and in order to look at those compromises, you have to, and see, look, the little baby's under the table there. It's like mummy's busy right now. Mummy's busy doing something. You have to be quite grounded, quite down to earth about whatever the choices are. So that is how you're going to meet the right husband. That's how you're going to meet the right husband, because I think you'll have more than one choice probably, right? You just have to make the right choice, and that's how you make the right choice. Hope that's okay. Good stuff. Okay, lovely, lovely. Let's have a look. Good. Excellent. All right, so we have yes, I can. I'm going to do one more, guys. So this is Gagan. So Gagan, single right now. When will I get into a relationship? Okay, now listen. So we're going to have to do this slightly differently to what you want me to do, because what you're asking me to do is a timeline, and I can't do that with one card. Okay, that's not how tarot works. So what I will do is I'm going to ask it to give you an indication as to when that relationship might be ready to come. So you'll get into a relationship when when okay, so we've got the 9 of Wands. So this is, you've got to stay in it, Gagan, and keep fighting. So I'm going to presume that you're feeling a little bit beaten up at the moment, a little bit sort of, like, oh, I mean, there's a tiredness about this card, isn't there? It's you can see, look, he's punch drunk, the poor chap. He's completely, he's taken some hits and he's not. But you know what? He's not beaten. That's the point. He's not beaten, and you're not beaten. You're really not. So this is, how resilient can you be? You've got to get back out there and keep on keeping on, right? So this is when you get back out there, because this is like, he's in between rounds, isn't he? Look, he's ding ding. He's gone right. He's on the ropes, right? His trainer's been mopping his face with a sponge, and what they've got to do is got to ring the bell for the next round, and you've got to get out into the next round and get fighting, get out there and get proactive. I know it's been hard. I get that. It honestly, that's not, it's not fun, is it? It isn't fun, but it doesn't mean that it's over. It really isn't. So I think this is how proactive you decide to be. Because again, what we don't have is, we don't have anything floating in on the wind and just happening by default. We have the necessity for you to have to get out and interact and actually get back in the ring and kind of put your open for business sign on and start being proactive again. That's when you'll get into a relationship, right? I hope that helps, darling. I'm sure it's not exactly what you wanted, but it is what I have for you. I hope that's all right. All right. Yes. Yes, I can absolutely see that you have. No problem. All right. Great. Well, look, I hope everybody enjoyed that, and I think we covered a lot of ground, didn't we? I just want to make sure I did everybody on my list. Yes, I did everybody on my list over there, so that's great. Everybody's been done. I will see you all next week. Lovely to see you, and have a lovely week. And yeah, I'm always here for a reading if you need one. And if anybody wants to study tarot, you know where I am, because I love to teach. In the meantime, I will see you all soon. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.